أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على محمد وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين أما بعد فقد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إن الصلاة عمود الدين. Dear brothers and sisters, in this session I am going to explain the rules of prayer. There are 6 obligatory prayers that we must perform. And those 6 obligatory prayers are, first of all, the daily prayers. The 5 daily prayers are obligatory on every adult, sane, and sane Muslim. The second obligatory prayer is the Salat al-Ayat or Namaz Ayat or the sign prayers, which becomes obligatory as a result of thunder, earthquake, or severe storm, which normally causes a person to feel afraid. And the third obligatory prayer is the prayer which is offered on a dead body, or the prayer which is offered on a corpse, on a Muslim's corpse. That is also one of the obligatory prayers. And the fourth prayer is the prayer of tawaf. Whoever performs the pilgrimage of the house of Allah, he must perform the prayer after circumambulating the house of Allah, after moving around the house of God. He must perform the obligatory prayer. This is the fourth obligatory prayer. And the fifth obligatory prayer is the qada of the prayer. The qada of the prayer which is missed by one's father. If a person knows, for example, that his father has missed a number of prayers, it is obligatory on the senior or on the elder son, not daughter, on the elder male child to give the qada of his father. Of course, many scholars have observed precaution. They have said that as a measure of precaution, the eldest son has to perform the qada of the prayers of his father. As far as mother is concerned, it is recommended to offer the qada of the prayers of one's mother, but it is not obligatory. Of course, there are some scholars, some mujtahideen, who are of the viewpoint that it is also necessary as a measure of precaution to offer the qada of one's mother, also the qada of the prayers of one's mother. So different scholars have given different views and different fatwas in this regard, and of course you need to refer to the Risala and to the book of Islamic laws written by your mujtahid or the mujtahid whom you follow. This is the fifth obligatory prayer. The sixth obligatory prayer is the prayer which becomes obligatory as a result of a vow or an oath or a nazr. Of course, the best word which conveys my purpose is the word nazr, but unfortunately the word nazr is used in different languages, and it has different meanings in different languages across the Middle East, for example. So nazr, when I use the term nazr, I refer to the pledge, to the vow which a person makes. For example, a nazr has its special formula. It's not just an intention, but it has a formula. If you want to make the prayer obligatory on you, you will have to, for example, recite لله علي أن أصلي ركعتين من الصلاة أو ركعتين من الصلاة if so and so, or if such and such action takes place. For example, if I have a friend or a relative of mine who is on a journey, I make a vow and say that if my son or if my father comes back home safe and sound, then I will offer my prayer 2 rakats of prayers. This is a nadhr. In Arabic and in Islamic and jurisprudential terms, this is called nazr. So this is something that you make it obligatory on yourself. It is not obligatory in the first place. But if you make a promise, if you make a vow that you will do an action, provided that you recite the formula, the Arabic formula, or the formula in your own language, but it should give and convey the same meaning. For example, لله علي أن أصلي ركعتين من الصلاة. It is wajib from God on me, this is the translation, from God on me that I will offer 2 rak'ats of prayers if my relative comes back home safely. Now in case your friend or relative, your father or mother or son comes back home safely, then it is obligatory on you to perform the 2 rakats of prayers. Of course, you can promise to offer 2 rakats, you can promise to offer 10 rakats, 100 rakats of prayers. It depends on the condition and on the nazr that you make, on the type of nazr that you make. If you promise that you will give, for example, you will offer 10 rakats of prayers, that would become obligatory, and you will have to offer that prayer as and when your wish is fulfilled. Now, these are the 6 obligatory prayers. You will ask, what about the Friday prayer? Because Friday prayer is also a prayer. Where is it among these 6 types of prayer? And isn't it an obligatory prayer? Of course, Friday prayer is included in the daily prayers, in the salat, the daily salat, the daily prayers. Because Friday prayer is a substitute for the midday prayer. When you offer the Friday prayer, it suffices for the midday prayer, and it won't be obligatory on you to offer the midday prayer or the dhuhr prayer. Friday prayer or namaz al-Jum'ah or salat al-Jum'ah is wajib takhiri. It is optional in the sense that if you offer the Friday prayer, it will suffice for the Zuhr prayer. It will not be obligatory to offer the Dhuhr prayer separately. Of course, the grand religious authorities, the Maraji, have said that it is better to offer the Dhuhr prayer separately as a measure of precaution. If you want to exercise precaution, you can offer the Dhuhr prayer, and it is recommended to take such a precaution because it happens. That either the Imam who offers the prayers is not a qualified Imam, or either the prayer is offered very late. For example, for Friday prayer begins from midday, from the time when the sun inclines towards the west, and the person who offers the prayers, or the Imam who offers the prayers, delays the khutbah, the two sermons, and then he offers the prayers 2 hours after midday. Of course, if the Friday prayer is delayed to such an extent, you will have to offer the Dhuhr prayer, and even precaution is not necessary. It is obligatory to offer the Dhuhr prayer because of the delay. And if the delay is not there, again, it is better to observe precaution, to exercise precaution, and offer the midday prayer, the Dhuhr prayer. There is one thing I would like to mention, and that is many Shia Muslims live in predominantly Sunni communities, Sunni countries, and they don't have their own Friday prayers. They don't have an arrangement for Friday prayer because either they don't have the Imam, or they don't have the space, they don't have the place, and maybe there are few Shia Muslims, or there is no Shia Muslim in a city which is populated by Sunnis. So you might find yourself interested to go to attend a Sunni Friday prayer. Now, this prayer, the question is it allowed to offer the Friday prayer in a Sunni congregation? Will it suffice for the Dhuhr prayer or not? Will it be sufficient or not? The grand religious authorities have unanimously said that the Friday prayer which is offered in a Sunni congregational prayer is not sufficient for the Dhuhr prayer. So you should note that if you want to offer the Salat al-Jum'ah or the Friday prayer with the Sunnis and their congregation, it is necessary for you to repeat the Dhuhr prayer individually, to offer the Dhuhr prayer individually. Because you are not relieved of the obligation. You have not offered your prayer. And this Friday prayer which is offered in their congregation is not sufficient for the Dhuhr prayer, so you must offer the Dhuhr prayer separately and independently or individually. Dear brothers and sisters, basically the Shia religion has very strict conditions or strict measures are taken when offering prayers in a congregation. If you are going to offer your daily prayers in a Sunni jama'ah or in a Sunni congregational prayer, you should know that it is either due to taqiyya or maybe due to a compromise. You want to offer your prayer with them because you want to reconcile with them. It's a kind of reconciliatory taqiyya. If the taqiyya is reconciliatory, according to some scholars, there is no problem. Your prayer with them in jama'ah, not in Friday prayer, but other prayers offered with them would suffice for the Dhuhr prayer. If you are also under taqiyya and you are exercising dissimulation, you are exercising quietism, which I interpret taqiyya for, then again the prayer which you offer with them would suffice. It's not necessary to repeat the prayer. But if there is no taqiyya, if there is no dissimulation, if there is no fear of losing your property, if there is no fear of getting harmed by them, then of course it is necessary, it is better that you, it is necessary of course that you offer your prayers individually. If you offer with them, if you are going to offer your prayers with them, then you must recite the Hamd and Surah. Because what does it mean if you are going to recite Hamd and Surah and their jama'ah? Because in a normal jama'at prayer, congregational prayer, you are not supposed to recite Hamd and Surah. It is not necessary to recite Hamd and Surah because all the qualifications, all the conditions are met. But in a congregational Sunni prayer, which is led by a Sunni Imam, a Sunni prayer leader, you must recite Hamd and Surah. What does it mean? It means that your prayer is an individual prayer. It is a frada prayer. It is not a Jama'at prayer. That is what it means. Many scholars have said that if you are going to attend a Sunni congregational prayer, you should recite Hamd and Surah. And of course, it's not necessary to recite it in a loud voice, loudly. You can recite it in a way that is not heard by other people. Because if you recite it loudly, you will disturb other people. And disturbing other people is not permissible. Or maybe you will expose yourself if you recite the prayers loudly. So you should note that the prayer which is offered with them in their congregational prayer is considered basically a frada prayer. You join their prayers because of some reasons, like uniting with them, like demonstrating unity and showing reconciliation and so on. Dear brothers and sisters, I have mentioned the 6 obligatory prayers, the 6 obligatory prayers. And I said that Friday prayer is a part of the daily prayers and it's not the 7th obligatory prayer. In the present time, of course, Friday prayer is not an independent obligatory prayer. Of course, because we are living in the time of occultation, we are living in the time of ghaibah. So if the Imam reappears, inshallah, may Allah hasten his reappearance, then in that time Friday prayers will become obligatory. Now another question which arises is the timing for the daily prayer. How should we determine the time obligatory prayers? For example, we want to offer the Dhuhr prayer, the midday prayer, and then the Asr prayer. When does the time for the midday prayer start? of course, you know very well that the sun rises from the east. It rises up until it reaches in the middle of the sky. Till then, the shadow is seen towards the west of the yardstick. Now, let's suppose that there is a stick, and there is a stick which is fixed in the ground. It has a shadow. It has a shadow. As long as the sun is on the east, then the shadow is on the west. And when it reaches in the middle of the sky, the shadow gets reduced and minimized, and sometimes even it disappears, because in Arabian Peninsula, in Mecca and the surrounding areas, sometimes in the summer season there is no shadow. There is no shadow. So when the sun starts moving towards the west and the shadow starts appearing on the eastern side of the yardstick, then that is the beginning time for the Dhuhr prayer. That is the first part of the Dhuhr prayer. When the shadow starts being created, and then it starts appearing on the eastern side, on the eastern side of the yardstick, then that is the first part of the time of the Dhuhr prayer. What about the Asr prayer? The grand religious authorities have said that you can, after offering the Dhuhr prayer, even if it takes you 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 4 minutes, you can start offering the Asr prayer immediately. There is no problem, no objection in offering your prayers immediately after offering the Dhuhr prayer. But it is better that you offer your Asr prayers, the midday prayer, 1 hour and a half after the midday prayer. Is better, not necessary, not obligatory. As far as the Maghrib prayer is concerned, or the Dusk prayer, Maghrib and Isha prayer is concerned, the Maraji have said that a redness starts appearing in the east, and it comes up until it reaches over your head in the sky. When the redness reaches over your head, then that is the time for the Maghrib prayer. The recommended precaution is to observe, to offer your prayers, to start offering prayers when that redness, which appears in the east, comes up, moves up, and comes and reaches over your head. That is, when it reaches over your head in the sky, then that is the first part of the Maghrib prayer. As far as the Isha prayer is concerned, the religious authorities have said that it is recommended, it is better that you offer 45 minutes, your Isha prayer, 45 minutes after the Maghrib prayer. But it is not obligatory. It's not obligatory to offer your Isha prayer 45 minutes after the Maghrib prayer. You can start offering your Isha prayer as soon as you finish the Maghrib prayer. There is no objection, no problem in combining your prayers. Combining the prayers is allowed. There are traditions, there are narrations from the infallibles and there are actually reports that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, combined his prayers when he was in Muzdalifah, when he was on a journey, and even when he was not on a journey, when he was in Medina, it has been reported that the Holy Prophet combined his prayer when he was in Medina. This is a report from Ibn Abbas. Ibn Abbas says that the Prophet combined his prayers in Medina, because he wanted his ummah not to be in trouble, not to be in difficulty. So it is permissible, according to the tradition of the Holy Prophet, to combine the prayers. The Holy Prophet combined his prayers when he was going to Mecca. He combined his prayers at Muzdalifah, near Mecca. Even our Sunni brothers combine their prayers when they are on a journey. And they believe in the permissibility of combining the prayers on a journey. Except the Hanafi sect. The Hanafi sect believes that combining the prayers on a journey is not allowed. The Hanafi sect says that it's not permissible to combine the prayers when you are afraid of something, when there is rain, or when there is fear of something. And generally, according to Hanafi sect, combining the prayers on a journey is not allowed. But all the Sunni sects, the Hanbali, the Shafi'i, the Maliki, and the Hanafi, they believe that combining the prayers at Muzdalifah is allowed. But the Shia believe that combining prayers based on the tradition of the Holy Prophet and based on the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet is allowed. It is permissible, even if you are not in a hurry, even if there is no rain, if there is no fear of beasts or animals, or when you are not on a journey, it is permissible to combine your prayers. Combining the prayers is allowed. Now, this is the point, because this is one of the questions normally asked by our Shia brothers. They normally are, because they are the people, they are asked by their Sunni friends as to why you Shias are combining your prayers. Combining prayers means that you offer your prayers 3 times instead of 4 or 5 times. No, actually, we offer our prayers 5 times. But we believe that the prayer, the time for Asr and Isha prayer, starts as soon as you finish the midday prayer and the Isha prayer and the Maghrib prayer. And of course, we do believe that it is better to offer the prayers, the daily prayers, separately, because it will earn you more sawab, it will earn you more reward. But if you, due to some exigencies, due to some problems, fail to offer your prayers separately, then there is no problem. You can offer your prayers in a combined way, in a combined manner. As far as the time for the Fajr prayer is concerned, of course, the religious authorities have said that the first part of the time for Fajr prayer starts when a whiteness starts spreading from in the east. Once there is a small whiteness, small piece of whiteness appearing in the east. But that is called the false dawn. And when that whiteness starts spreading, then that is the time for the Fajr prayer, and that is the beginning of the time for the Fajr prayers. Of course, those who live in cities, because there is too much light, there's too much brightness in the city, it is very difficult to look at the horizon. And the whole city is as bright, so it's very difficult for those living in cities to use these rules and these criteria in order to determine the times for the prayers. But those who live in villages, and especially those people who do not have light, electricity, they can look at the sky and they can find the time. This is the rules, or these are the rules for this session regarding the prayers. I will inshallah elaborate and further explain the rules regarding prayer, of course, in a several session, because there are many rules and many questions regarding prayer. Inshallah, we will continue and carry on our discussion regarding the prayers in the next sessions to come. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.